Okay, so it is time to get this thing took to bits. I need to get the carb up off it, so I'll start probably with taking the air filtre up off. They like their cable ties, these boys. Need to keep everything neat and tidy, I suppose, but to keep in touch with their wiring skills. One thing I didn't know about Ford until the other night, the heads on a 302 are the same on both sides, just different way around. The plugs point this way on this head and they plug that way on that head. You learn something new every day, don't you? Now then, probably should drain the water out of this thing before we go too much further. Caught approximately 8% of that, so that's good, right? In theory, this radiator should lift up. Right if I take these two 8mm off. That was easier than I thought. Yeah. Does anybody out there know what size the crank snout pulley is on a 302? Right. Nope, other way. Ooh. That's top dead center, I think. it safe over there for a while.
Long and tall with that slender groove. I love your smell and the way you move. Can I help it if I want you tonight?
So you can see here that we have the inlet up off now finally. I am not a V8 expert by any means. It's the first one I've ever worked on, so I think I'm going to lift the valve covers up off and see what's in there as well, because I think by the feel of some of these lifter push rod things that some of them have quite a bit of slap in them, so I think I'm going to need to set those as well while I'm in here. It can't hurt, I guess. The overall no bolts stripped, so that's a bonus. I suppose we can have a wee look at the inlet. Let's see if it's salvageable. Oh, so the bolt's actually sheared off in there, which is nice, but I might be able to get the welder down into that and weld a stud onto it. Feeling that'll start trying to drill, I think. The gasket wasn't in great nick around the carb as well, so I'm wondering, was there an air leak at the same time as all of this? So somebody's been trying to seal this before with some blue silicone. But yes, overall, thankfully it came off. Carburetor. Somebody has been a bit of a butcher with this. I think there should be flaps coming across here for chokes and stuff, but it seems to be all ground away and gone. It also should have a secondary or vacuum secondary on it, which is no longer there. I have since bought a kit for one, so we'll see if I can get it fitted. I think it wouldn't do any harm to potentially take this thing apart and clean it, at least get into the bowls to see how dirty they are. Take the top or the two ends up off and see how dirty they are in there. So let me do that at some point whenever it's ready to go back on. Okay, so a bit of progress has been made. I have fixed the inlet, over here, fixed the inlet. I drilled and tapped deeper on that, drilled it further in and then tapped it the whole way out in M8. I know that other one's probably ½ inch in American Freedom size, but all I have now is the M8, so whenever it finally reaches the threads at the back that I've currently drilled out to the right size, it gets a real good grip on it. It's not going anywhere. It'll be packed full of Loctite as well, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I have cleaned all of the mating faces back with sandpaper, wire brush, scraper, everything, so that's spotless. I have fitted Velcro gaskets. Bought this kit here from Rock Auto, and as per good old Derek at Vice Grip Garage, binned the cork gaskets that come with it and laid a nice thick bead of sealer at both ends. I've also put sealer around the water jackets on the head there, because I don't want them to push everywhere. The gasket has raised ribs here for her pleasure, and there's raised ribs here for sealing on for the head or for the inlet, so I don't need to put sealant the whole way around that, thankfully. I'm going to let that go off for maybe 10 minutes or so, and then whenever it's a wee bit tacky, I need to remember to lift that rag out. In fact, I'm going to do it now because that'll be sad. But yes, lift the bit of gasket out. Come on, there we go. And yes, ready to rock and roll to fit this inlet. Probably all I'm going to do tonight, because I need to let it go off really before I starting at it and messing about. So I will put it on, nip them up to sort of finger tight with the screwdriver, and then in the morning when I come back, I'll just torque them on down that wee bit more. It's been a gasket sort of an evening. If you haven't seen my other project, this is the X-Pack twin turbo V6 Cosworth. This rocker cover leaked onto the manifold, started a fire. So yes, that was also given the silicone treatment. But hopefully tomorrow when I'm down, this might see smoke again. Hopefully not fire smoke, but yes, it might start again tomorrow if all goes to plan. So time to set this inlet on. Pull this up out, I suppose, now. Okay, grab the bolts, which I've conveniently left at my rear end over here.
When we dance, baby, this head close. It's like I'm poison with a lethal dose. Can I help it if I want you tonight?
Okay, so it's been the next day. I've done a wee bit already. I have retorqued down all the bolts on both the Capri and the Granada on the two inlets and rocker cover. I have fitted the Dizzy and rebuilt the Capri completely there, back just waiting for just swishing the cooling system out, and then I'm gonna fill it up with antifreeze. This one here, I have done a bit of shopping. So it's time to replace on all the ignition stuff. The new Dizzy cap and rotor arm. I have points and condenser, ignition coil, and somewhere, don't know where right now, but somewhere there's a set of new leads for this as well. So I've already changed the plugs. I'm going to pull one of them out to see what it's running like. My guess is that it was going to be running super lean because we had the mixer screwed down too much. Might have to do it now. No suiting up around it anyway. It is a wee bit oily. It is a wee bit oily, which probably isn't a good sign, but I'll clean it anyway. Put it back in. Okay, it's time to get this carburetor on. I have repaired, inverted commas, the gasket and made sure that it's going to seal by putting sealer on it. Okay, it's the carb on and sealed. I have a few Jubilee clips to do back here, which could be fun. Should have done this whenever the carb was off, probably. suppose I really start looking at getting the electrodigitals connected in again. Spark plugs all on. And go from there. Okay, so all rebuilt, plug leads all on, everything ready to go. I have had the emissions all set again on it, and got it sort of finely tuned with the timing and stuff on her. So hopefully this is it this time for the MOT. She starts still pretty nice. She starts still pretty nice. No, she doesn't apparently. Does anybody want to buy a Granada? Heap of dung. Went to get into it this morning, stupid o'clock, to go to MOT, which I booked last night on a whim because there was a free slot this morning. And the starter motor just started spinning. So I'm not catching the flex plate. So put it up in the lift. I was already running a wee bit late by this stage. Put it up in the lift, and of course the top lug had broken off the starter motor. So welded up a bracket, put it back together, and chemical welded the flange back on as well. Put it all back together, started it up, it started lovely. But then whenever I walked over to turn the welder and stuff off, which is still sitting over there for making the wee bracket thing, I opened the driver's door to get in, and it was just full of smoke. So, let me take you inside. Stinks in here still. Right. It must have stuck on the starter motor, because wherever it's gone, there. See that bare wire? That is the starter signal wire, I think. Nearly sure it is. Need to double check. But yeah, it melted completely. All the stuff from off it, and you can see there where it was rubbing on or burning through the PVC coating on the big multi-loom sheath thing. So I've sat here for another 20 minutes, half an hour now, after I frantically ripped the battery terminal off and pushed the car outside, in case it went up in the shed with all these other cars sitting. Pushed the car outside and missed the MOT. So yeah, now it looks like I have to get a starter motor. Looks like I'm back into iron mode again, which is hateful considering I thought I'd just finished it. But at least that bit of wiring isn't that difficult to get at, and I'm a master at taking the dash out now. So yeah, order up a starter motor and rewire that and try again. Another 30 quid for another MOT, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know if I'll do that in this episode. I might leave it here. To be truthful, I'm completely and utterly fed up with this thing. Just fed up with cars in general at the minute. But yeah, I'll leave it for a while, put the spanners down, take a break, wait for the parts to arrive from America, and maybe have a go in a few weeks' time. Yeah. Okay, welcome back to Project Granada. In the last one, you might have seen I fell out with it slightly. Still have. It's still a bit of a prick, but I think I found out where the issues lay, and I think I maybe falsely blamed the starter motor potentially. We'll dig in here and we'll have a wee look. I haven't really done too much, just apart from taking this center console stuff off. I had a friend over and asked him to put the battery terminal on while I got inside to smell for sort of an electrical leak test. And yeah, you can sort of see in here it was fairly bad. This spade, you can see it got very hot. It's even got hot enough there to burn the coating off it, and the whole corner, focus, the corner itself is broken off it as well, or melted off it. So I think what happened was that is a spade connector, obviously a male, or gender neutral if you wish, but it's a male spade connector. I think it has shorted out there and melted everything. Yeah, sort of quite lucky it didn't go properly up, because the amount of that heat shieldy stuff in here is unreal. But yeah, I think if I was to bail that out, this wire that's melted is the same as this wire going to the ignition. So I might get away okay. Now it has melted and pulled itself out of the whole loom in there. That's it, currently free here. But yep. I think what I'm going to do here is pull the whole dash out of her again. And wherever it's the whole dash, just this and the inner frame, then I can see down in to see what exactly is going on and where this loom goes. I am hoping so badly that this loom is just for the radio, and this just goes directly up to here, and everything's not that bad. You got to be optimistic sometimes, right? But anyway, I'll update whenever I have this out to see just how bad things got on here. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't just as nice as just a wee nice wee loom going from here down to the radio. I don't know what to do yet. So you can see it runs through this entire loom. I haven't even got in here yet to see how bad it actually is. But it all looks like one big nice congealed melty mess in there. Let's see if I can get you zoomed in. Not ideal. It goes the whole way over, up that loom, there, and then it made its way down this loom here. So I know one thing's for sure, I can't be bothered right now to take all this apart and fix it all right now. I've had enough. Yeah, I think I might have to start looking out for a wiring loom, which is rather annoying because I've spent the time fixing all of this. But it is what it is, I guess. Hello, and welcome back to Kris Garage. Good news, everybody. We're now legal. Import documents come back yesterday in the post, logbook and stuff as well, so I'm able to take this for a drive. Now, you would think with all the time that's been sitting here since I sent the forms off and got it all sorted, I would have had it ready to go, but no. I've had a child since then, a third child rather, and yeah, it's just been quite busy. So, gonna do a wee few bits and pieces to get this thing ready for the road and hopefully drive it home this evening and take it for a legal drive. Carburetor is one of the first things I'm going to change. There's on the Holly 4 barrels, there's a link pipe that runs between the two chambers at the end, and mine's leaking. So not ideal to have petrol pushing everywhere in engine bay. It's okay if you sort of twist it here and there with a pair of pliers to get it sealed again, but the next time you leave it for a couple of weeks and compact it, it's leaking again. So I have this bad boy to go on. This is a Holley double pumper, 600 CFM, fuel guzzling beast of a thing, which coincidentally is built to take a bar of boost. So there might be at some point in the channel a little blow through carb setup being built. Haven't quite decided if that's going to be turbos, supercharger, single, twin, I don't know, but nonetheless. Gonna get this carb lifted up off and see what else I have to change. There's a bit of an oil leak at the valley as well. So while the carb's off, I'm gonna end up doing that, I think. If I could get at that without taking the distributor out, I'd be quite happy because the timing and everything's set lovely at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna get this thing up on the lift. So, probably should start by taking this air filter up off, I guess. This is one thing I'm changing on the new carb. This was a bolt, which is not ideal when you're trying to get it all lined up with the actual top of the carb. So, there we go.
If I leave it, baby, will you come? Let me hold you till my arms go numb. Can I help it if I want you tonight? I said, can I help it if I want?
So, this here is the vent tube that's leaking, especially around these O-rings here. So yeah, it's time to change this thing out for a new shiny one. Okay, let's see about getting this thing bolted down on then. Comes with new gaskets apparently, so I think from what I can gather, this carb was rebuilt by Holley themselves. Let's see if it does actually fit, my word. Right, so the car is still backfiring, etc. It is running an awful lot better than it once was, but it is, we've had to jet this down, so the new carb's all on and we got it running. Took it up the road and it was really backfiring and just not running nice at all. Took the jets out of the silver carb, the old dungy one that was on it, and swapped them into this one. So it was 2 jet sizes down, so it now runs an awful lot better, but took her out for a maiden voyage and it broke down 3 times. The points kept closing over on me. So, did what everybody else in their right mind would do, and yes, new distributor. The one that's on it is just worn. Everything's worn on it, it's really bad. So we now have it set to TDC over here. The piston's at the top of the stroke and the dizzy arm lines up with cylinder 1 on the dizzy cap. So we want to take the dizzy up out and hopefully get it swapped out for this brand spanking unit in a second. Opens the way out.
dizzy these things anyway.
What next?
Huh?
What next? Ever next?
Yes.
Give her a bit more.
What way to advance them and retarding them?
I don't know, we'll try and see. Other way. Oh, that works actually.
Go again.
Back a bit, yeah. Still cold as well.
Yeah. That was the first day. Make you go a bit nicer.
Just fixed. Okay, that is the new Dizzy end, all sorted, tweaked. That's the carbon, rejetted, and all that stuff sorted. I've only set everything up by ear and by feel really. The idle mixture screws and the timing is only ever done just by guesswork, but it seems to be going quite well. I maybe didn't need to change the distributor, unsure. Whenever I went to go out for a test run after fitting it, it still wasn't running right, and then I discovered, oh wait, when was the last time I actually put petrol in this thing? So yeah, I think it was out of petrol, but nonetheless, the amount of play in the old distributor, I'm pretty happy with. For all the price, it was 48 quid or something, so for all the price of the brand new distributor, it's in, peace of mind. I know it's brand new, and especially if I'm going to go on road trips in this thing. One thing I will say, the exhaust is very low. It's about 4-inch pipe at some places, twin 4-inch. So I think I'm going to cut it off and do a similar job what we did in the Capri. Maybe not as tasty, but yeah, we're gonna put two 2.5 pipes down and a couple of silencers. Just still sound good out the back, but it's very drony inside at the moment, like very drony. So I would like it toned down a little bit for going to wheels. Yeah, I think that might do me this one, folks. it's a bit of a learning curve for me. I started in carbs and dizzies years ago on the Pinto, but I haven't touched it in maybe 10 years properly. So I've enjoyed it, enjoyed getting back to basics and learning it all. Trying to read plugs, and yeah, it's fun. Hopefully this is the start of a bit more regular content again. I took a bit of time off there, just sort of burnt myself out really with work, filming, editing, social media, so yeah, hence why I haven't been about much recently. The Granada is now fully road legal. Number plates just taxed, MOT'd, insured, and hopefully road ready. I need to try and get seatbelts fitted in the next episode, so they can get the kids in the back, and possibly the exhaust in the next one as well. I have a bit more tidying up to do in the engine bay. It's all just MOT spec at the minute, it's not actually that tidy. So I'd like to tidy it up, and possibly we'll see how the budget stretches, possibly lower it, and see if I can get her sitting a bit nicer. The Capri is also road ready. She's now MOT exempt as of January there passed, so it's legal and going the very best. I'll fill you in a wee video in the next series of the X-Pack of what all's happened since. Yeah, I think that'll do me. So thank you very much for watching, and if you like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button. There'll be more content coming very soon. Bye!